Hello everybody, my name is Mattia, and today the topic is going to be just a little bit different. I typically talk about audio gear, I do reviews on this channel, but today I just wanted to express myself into another topic, which is sports and generally my life, how it's going. I'm a person that kind of needs to socialize and to talk to a public. I can't live by myself much long, otherwise I fucking die internally. And that's also why I opened this channel. And it's been a while since I posted a video, but I kind of felt the necessity to talk about something different, something else. In September of 2023, so last year, I had an acute appendicitis. I managed to initially treat it with antibiotics, so managed to keep it and avoid surgical intervention, at least in the start. But after 6 months, I had another flare, so it came back, and another time I decided to treat it with antibiotics. Mistake, because that then transitioned to chronic appendicitis, which is even worse because uh, either you remove it or it has the possibility of either returning into a condition that is just another acute appendicitis, or it can literally it can fucking explode or perforate, which is a little less drastic but still can cause peritonitis, which is an infection of the whole membranous tissue that is the peritoneum, which keeps all your abdominal organs in their place. And when that happens, you're kind of fucked because either you fix it immediately, like I known a couple of people that managed to save themselves in their childhood from septic shock due to the fact that they immediately got rushed to the hospital. Luckily, that wasn't my case, and I finally had it removed in the last month, just the 19th. And after that, I kind of considered a couple of things. Now, before I introduce, the new sport, which this is kind of serves as a spoiler. Not this. This is my brother's. This, which as you can see, are handlebars, because I got myself into cycling, which I think is the best fucking sport in the entire world. It's not even fucking close. Now, I've tried many in my life. I tried swimming, I tried running, I tried obstacle running, I tried long jumping, which I'm still pretty good at. I tried high jumping, I tried volleyball, I tried basketball, football. The main thing that I did for like 3 years was bodybuilding. It started at the start of 2021 and kind of finished in 2023 when I had the first attack, because I managed to put on like 20 kilos of muscle without any, magical drugs, and 5 kilos or something like that of fat. I clearly was fatter than when I started with, because I was very, very lean, and I started out at 65 kilos and ended at like 90 kilos. I was big, I was huge. Now I'm about 76, 77 kilos, something around those lines. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about was how bodybuilding kind of changed my perspective on life, how it helped me grow. Now, of course, the main reason of why I've matured so much since I was, in my 15s, 16s, it was due to my girlfriend, which managed to fix a lot of my mental issues, and I'm so fucking grateful for her help. And she still is with me, thank God. Otherwise, I'm done with life. But other than that, bodybuilding was like the second thing. it helped me grow as an individual. When I started, I kind of did it for two main reasons. One, I didn't really have much else to do. In 2020, we had the pandemic of the coronavirus, and in 2021, we in Sicily were still locked up home. The schools weren't still open. I went to third third superior grade, which is, I know, fairly different from the American school system. But you have elementary schools, middle schools, and then you have superior schools. And that was in third grade, so I was 16 years old. No, yes, 16 years old at the start of 2021. 17 and in May, because my birthday is in May. And I started working out. I noticed that I put on a lot of muscle and fast as fuck. I am predisposed to do that because I have a load of those that are called fast twitch muscle fibers, which are the ones that tend to grow a lot when you stimulate them. That's why I'm not so great of an endurance athlete, because my muscular predisposition is shifted towards, having a higher amount of those fast twitch muscle fibers, which are generally used for maximal force production. And I got pretty strong too. I still have some gains. I do still pack some things, but I definitely lost a lot of size. And I don't mind it. I don't mind it because in these years I did it once. Talking about the thing that I mentioned before. The first reason was because I didn't really have much else to do, but the second one, which was probably more important, is the fact that I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to impress. I wanted to show off myself. And what better way to do it, literally, than walking around with the thing that you worked for, which is muscle. Literally, bodybuilding is the most aesthetic sport that you can do, because it literally builds your own body, the body that you carry yourself with every single day. So it's impossible for people to not look at it, because they're looking at you. When you're doing running, when you're doing cycling, people don't really see you for the sport that you're doing unless you're doing it. When you're bodybuilding, you're literally showing off the results of your hard work every single fucking second that the people next to you, every single fucking second that you exist in a person's range of view, which is great for people that want that kind of attention. I did want it. I liked it. But after a while, after 2 years and a half of training, I kind of was like, why am I doing this? Like, I like how I look, I like the attentions that I get, but I'm feeling like shit all the time. I have sleep apnea, I have to eat 3,400 calories just for maintenance. Let's not even talk about fucking a surplus, let's not even go there. But I was feeling heavy. I wasn't really that athletic anymore. I lost energy. I was feeling tired all day. Granted, I was also overtrained, but we're kind of not going to consider that, because there were a lot of negative side notes, negative things that came with being that size. Remember, I started at 65 kilos, and I was a fucking gazelle at 65 kilos. Could do a sprint in 10.9 seconds, and I could do a long jump from a standing start of 3 meters, which is pretty good. But after I put on so much weight, walking around was hard. I didn't want to walk around, which is a fucking tragedy, because I like going places. I like being outside, basking myself in the sun, even going outside with the rain. It's something so beautiful. and I really wasn't prepared to live a lifestyle like that for the next years to come. Then came the appendicitis, and that was kind of an excuse. It was literally an excuse to try and do something else, something that didn't keep me locked in that kind of state where to to avoid wasting calories, I literally did not want to go outside. I just ate, went to uni, visited my girl. The girl came to me. My girl, came to me. We hang out. I return home. I eat. I poo. I pee. I eat. It was not sustainable at all. That's why I kinda catapulted myself into something that is entirely different, which is cycling. Cycling is an endurance sport, which is not bodybuilding, clearly, because cyclists do not give a fuck about catabolism. In fact, they kind of search for it to, decrease their weight, to get those KONs on Strava. By the way, I'm poor as fuck, so I do not have the Garmin. I don't even have a power meter. For fuck's sake, I don't even have a heart monitor, but that I'm going to purchase since it doesn't cost a lot. My bike, by the way, is a Bianchi Mega Pro from 1990, and I modified it a lot to be a little more modern, a little more comfortable. Change the saddle, change the seat post, change the wheels. The only thing that I kept is actually the frame. Everything else is modified. I wanted to try something different, and cycling came to me. Cycling was a revelation. I knew I liked it because in my 13s, 14s, I had a gifted. My father decided to gift a mountain bike, which is double the weight of that one, and it was low because I was low. I didn't really produce much power, nor had the aerobic capacity to sustain it. But fuck, it was fun! It was fun going to the same places I went with that I was in the car on a bike. I could hop off and see the beautiful landscapes of the Mediterranean coast of Sicily, which I still can do, luckily, ice work. And just that thought put me into a kind of like an euphoric state. Since you're outside, you can go literally almost everywhere with a mountain bike. Not quite with a road bike, but the road bike is clearly much faster and perhaps even more comfortable on the long run than a mountain bike. Maybe definitely more comfortable, especially when you do like 4 or 5 hours of cycling. You do like 120 k's, 130, 150. You need to have a comfortable vehicle, if that's what it is. It's not a vehicle, of course, because it's not motorized, but still, it has wheels, so it's kind of riding something that has wheels, so a vehicle in some sort of sense. I'm kind of speaking bullshit right now. Back to the topic. Cycling was a fucking revelation. I did not have to think about calories anymore. I didn't have to stay in my home. I didn't have to train that precisely, that intensively as I did in bodybuilding. And as a bonus, I just got to enjoy the beautiful landscapes and air outside and the sun and the clouds and the sky, and holy shit. Such a change, such a massive change from what I was doing before. I needed it. It was almost a requirement because I was not happy with the way I felt. Not necessarily the way I looked, but the way I felt with bodybuilding. And that sport gave me enough confidence, enough peace of mind with myself to not care a lot about how I looked. Thankfully, my face is not absolute garbage. I know I'm not that pretty, but at least I'm not so bad, I think, even though my hairline is kind of receding. Thanks, Dad. But it's not a requirement anymore. I don't care about it that much. I give much more priority to relationships, to staying outside, living life, like actually living life, which is a change that I didn't know I needed until appendicitis actually came in. And ironically, I kind of saw it as like like a checkpoint. Okay, I know what I can do with bodybuilding. I've reached most of my potential, but now I want to do something else. I want to do something that is sustainable for my whole life. Cycling. You don't have to do it every day. You don't even have to do it a day on or a day off. You could do it like 2 to 3 times a week, and you could get most of the fitness adaptations that you need to get a better cycle to be a better cyclist by just not doing all of the work that bodybuilding required you to do. Because I was an intermediate, I wasn't a beginner anymore, and I imagine that at some point, if I truly want to improve, I have to implement some sort of power meter on my bike, I have to implement specialized, specific training to actually get better. The nutrition is actually on point because I've informed myself with a shit ton of videos by nutritionists and people that actually race that I know of that have taught me how to fuel myself in and out of the bike, plus all the knowledge that I detracted from actual bodybuilding, the amount of protein that is required to sustain an endurance sport, which is, yeah, it's less than what you will require for bodybuilding, but it's still much higher than what people usually think. To actually sustain yourself in an endurance sport, you need to fuel yourself up with loads of protein. Not 1 pound, 1 gram per pound of body weight. That is practically not even recommended for bodybuilding, since new studies suggest that 0.7 grams per pound of body weight are more than enough to fulfill all your muscle requirements for actual muscle growth, and more protein does not equate to more muscular growth, which is fucking awesome, since I was chugging down 200 grams of protein per day, believing that was an absolute requirement. It wasn't. It was not a requirement. Fucking wasted I don't know how much money buying, chicken and protein shakes and fucking milkshakes and milkshakes with protein with chicken and tuna and bullshit like that. No, it's not actually bullshit. You need it, but fuck, it was hard. And yeah, I suggest you all to try cycling. It does cost a bit, but to get into it, I managed to spend less than €1,000 over a course of a year, which is less than most people spend on this sport. Much less. Clearly, my bike is not top spec, but I do not give a fuck, since I'm not that good at cycling as of now. I could get better eventually in the future, but it's not a requirement. I have other things in my mind. My girlfriend being my priority number one, I love her so much. But I think I talked a little bit too much. I spewed out a lot of nonsense, and I hope to not have bored you. I wish you a good night, in my case, since it's 8 p.m. And yeah, see you in the next time. I could probably in the next video make a review of the actual bike to, delight your eyes with the beautiful Bianchi Mega Pro of 1995. Holy fuck, that bike has 30 years! It's 30 years old! Can you believe it? 30 years old! It's still holding up pretty well. Catch you in the next one.